Hey everyone, Brian from Bear Bull Traders. It is Sunday, May the 9th, and I hope everyone's had a good weekend. Weather's getting nicer out there. So this is the Sunday night look back, take a look at the week that was, and then try to look ahead and see what's worth playing, what's worth staying away from. So one of the most interesting things that happened was, of course, was on Friday. We had the jobs data came out and really super disappointed in the number, or at least disappointing from a number of people's perspectives. But the market just took it as super good news, and we blasted off on all the indexes on Friday after that disappointing jobs number. So bad news, still good news for the market. Rates lower for longer. And we'll see where we head this week. I'm not liking a lot of things this week. But I am still liking gold, and I am liking some of the metals plays. Certainly seems to be a lot of supply constraints out there with the commodities, and oil, energy has been doing well, maybe real estate as well. So let's get into it. Let's deep dive into the markets, see where we've been, and see where it could be going this week. Okay, before we get going here, this is my book on Amazon, How to Swing Trade. If you haven't checked it out, that's my shameless plug before we get into analysis of the markets last week. And moving along here, let's start out as we always do with the bonds and the yields. We're always keeping an eye on those, and you can see here had a bit of we've definitely in a bit of a range, chopping back and forth. TLT, it's finding a sort of resistance here at 140. If, of course, this TLT goes up, then yields are going to be dropping, and that's, I guess, if we're bulls in the market, that's what we definitely want to see. So if it goes up, yields are dropping. You would think that would be bad for the financials. We'll talk about that in a little while. The financials have been actually doing quite well. Thank you very much. And again, here these are the yields, so you can see we're into either a very extended bull flag, or we're about to break down here. So, or we could be just consolidating sideways. It's really in a bit of a no man's land situation. The RSI is coming down off the highs. Stochastics are coming back in. MACD looks like it's going to cross. So we actually do look like we're dropping, or going to be dropping. So sort of cross currents here. There's of course we've got lots of evidence of inflation on the horizon, but on the other hand, you've got what appears to be a weak economy, which requires lower interest rates. So I think it's going to be a bit of a fight here to see which direction this goes. But that's going to be I think that's going to be one of the main things we're going to just keeping an eye on here, and that's what we're doing. So you can see here transports again, beautiful day Friday, breaking out again, really overbought. Volume kind of average, not really doing much. MACD still looking strong. On the week, of course, we are up on the week as well. Here's the transports on the weekly. Again, it's really overbought here, really extended from these moving averages. Volume kind of dropping off here. Not a lot of volume, but that doesn't necessarily mean we can't go higher. But it's really getting extended here. I'm almost expecting a bit of this kind of action maybe this week, a bit of a pullback, at the very least to get us back to closer to these moving averages. Again, the Dow, nice move up here Thursday and Friday on the daily, breaking out, getting a little overbought here. Average volume again, stochastics up in the overbought area. Again, breaking out all-time high on the Dow. Sort of the same story over and over again here, but looking very strong. Nice little bull flag, and then a breakout on the week there. But again, really, I think we're getting extended, maybe a couple days in the new part of the week here, just a little bit of churn sideways. The Qs are really struggling here since we put in this double top. You can see here we had a pretty decent day on Thursday, and then Friday we gapped up, but indecision candle on Friday. So not a lot of conviction to the upside. I mean, if it had gone out near the high of the day, would have been a lot more positive for the Qs. So I think the Qs will continue to struggle here. The value over growth, as we've been talking about, the value stocks still seem to be performing better than the tech-heavy growth stocks in the Qs. Or yeah, so on the week, again, we had a down week on the Qs. You can see here some topping action again. And I'm expecting this to continue, actually. Stochastic's kind of rolling over here. I think we're going to head lower. We did that on volume on the week here. Qs continue to look like they're struggling. Thursday, Friday on the SPY, again, nice day, just like the Dow. Nice couple days back to back. SPY out to an all-time high again, getting overbought here. Maybe get a bit of a churn week next week on the SPY, and then finally the IWM. IWM just chopping in a range here. You can see here, looked like we were putting in a sort of a head and shoulder pattern. We did start to break down, then we have broke out. It was a false breakout. Now we've pulled back again. Friday was a decent day, but again, we just seem to be kind of stuck in this range here, and I'm going to say 230 is pretty solid upside resistance if we get back up there. But again, it's kind of looks like a lot of chop right now until we break out one way or another. Weekly looks a little bit more solid. We do look like we've got a sort of a ascending triangle here. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And again, if we can break above 230, then we could be heading higher. The dollar, it just got annihilated on Friday with that jobs number. Yeah, a lot of traders just sold the dollar on that news. It gapped down and just continued to go lower on volume. So we are coming down here. We could be into let's take a look at it on a monthly, because I don't think it's been down. We still got a long way to go here on the dollar, but it does look like it's going to break down. It's going to lose this 24 level. Be surprised if it doesn't do that. And Bitcoin, we had some interesting stuff over the weekend. Elon Musk on SNL. Dogecoin or whatever you want to call it took a bit of a beating after some comments he made on the comment. It just shows you how volatile these things are and how they can really radically move just on a tweet or a bit of news one way or another. So the one that looks probably the best is Ether, although it is pretty extended. Ethereum. If we look at that one, Grayscale Ethereum Trust, you can see here we've had a really nice run up. Read a lot of stuff lately about how people feel Ethereum is going to be taking over for Bitcoin in terms of its value, because it's not just a currency, it also has some utilitarian value. So anyway, that's for the crypto traders. Okay, so let's take a quick look at some earnings that we've got coming up on deck here. Workhorse, it's going to be interesting. Of course, a lot of the EV stocks have really had been challenged trying to move higher. Tesla looking very weak on the daily chart. So we've got Tyson, we've got some energy companies this week, Duke Energy. Of course, all the energy companies have been doing really well. Got quite a smattering of things. Bilibili, Chinese stock, of course, Blink. I think there was some other alternative energy companies in here as well. Palantir. I think one of the big ones that people are going to be watching is Disney. I think it's over here on Thursday somewhere. Yeah, Walt Disney Company after the close on Thursday. Alibaba before the open. So we got still a few interesting things coming up here. Fubo. It's always been interesting. Some of the high tech or high growth plays like QuantumScape. EA is going to be an interesting one. It's been challenged lately. So still some good earnings numbers this week coming up. Something to look forward to drive the markets. So let's look at the sectors. Candles at a glance here. You can see. Let's see where the action is, where the money's going. You can see here SPY breaking out. We already talked about. Friday, the discretionary. Again, this is just chopping in a range here. I think we're kind of range bound on the discretionary side of things. Communications, again, just a indecision candle. Same with XLK, and that was similar to what the Qs put in. Industrials just breaking out here on Friday. Looks strong. Materials look strong. Energy looking strong. Started out low, but then came back up again. Again, healthcare struggling a little bit here, couldn't break out. Financials. I'm kind of surprised. This is the one that kind of surprises me. Financials. If we've got interest rates going lower, this is typically not an environment where the financials do well, but they've been certainly been strong regardless of the financials. And real estate kind of bouncing off this 50 moving average, or 20 period moving average here, I should say, and looking like it's wanting to go higher. So I'm kind of interested in real estate because I think it's probably poised to move higher and break out. But materials and energy, certainly ones that I'm involved with right now. So a quick look at some of the stocks I'm still in. I'm still in Ford. Kind of wishing I was in GM, but I'm in the calls, the 10 calls. They're definitely in the money. Looking for a bit of a rebound here later in the year. They're not. They don't expire till next year, so they're more like leaps than calls. HGU in as well. I do like gold here, although we do look like we're into an area where we're going to have, can see some congestion here, some support and resistance, and then got back to this level again, acted as resistance, pulled back, and now we're back here again. So keeping an eye on that one, but I think if the dollar continues to weaken, HGU still looks pretty good here. That's a gold play. Horizon Beta Pro, it's a Canadian stock, but you can play GL or GDX or GDXJ. I've got some GDX as well, actually. LAC, well, I don't actually have that. I sold that because it was just selling off here. It's more of a watch stock. Tech, I've got on this breakout here, again, a materials play. And this is, again, my ultimate materials play. It's just basically a commodity index. It's really been taken off here. It's done really well. We're getting pretty overbought here, and you can see here we put in a bit of a hollow fill candle. So we'll see if we're getting really extended from these moving averages. I've talked about maybe due for a bit of a pullback here, but it's been a super nice run since this breakout here on USCI ETF. Vicom still holding on to a little bit here. It just seems to be holding this level, might be putting in a double bottom. So of course, if we lose this level, I'll be out of it. Willow, I'm still holding on for longer term. And energy, I'm really liking energy. I'm still long some energy, and it's one thing again, it's right up to this prior level of resistance here. So it could end up doing a bit of a pullback, but again, weak dollar and recovering economy, this energy is probably going to start to pick up, and I would imagine it'll gap up here on Monday, as we've had this issue with the hack of Colonial, I think it was. So that should be good for another pop. And finally, what we got on watch here. Well, I was looking at Donkey Kong. I never actually did take this, unfortunately, to the short side, but it was setting up as you can see here, as a head and shoulders. So you got this nice shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder, and then eventually it did try to pop back up once more, but then eventually it did break down. I think it had bad earnings on volume. So I'd be looking for some support here somewhere in this area. Maybe set an alert around 47.50. It may go down as low as 45. It's an area here, but maybe looking for a bottom on DraftKings if it's not just short term. Yeah, stochastics getting down into a very overbought, oversold area. Same with RSI. So give it a little more, maybe a little more room to the downside, and then possible long play there. Fuel cell, again, looks like it might be putting in a double bottom, but I'd want to see some more action. So we're just keeping a little bit more consolidation in this level. All of these alternative energy plays have really struggled to get any traction since sort of end of March. Joe, I'm looking at this as more of a real estate play. It does look like it's breaking out here. Pick this up on a scan. Volume was pretty decent, or at least picking up a little bit. There isn't a whole lot of volume on this, so you have to be a little bit careful with it. But again, we've got a lot of upside potential here. So maybe 50 might be close to 50 might be the first target on it. RSI is looking nice. Stochastics are turning up here. So I like this one for a long on Monday. LABU, I'm keeping an eye on. It looked like it broke down to a new low. We've had a bit of a comeback here. Again, the biotech space has really been struggling since mid-February. This is where this LAC should have been. I'm still watching this one again, sort of alternative energy, EV, lithium play. It looks like it's holding this level, which was prior resistance, now became support. So maybe we finally put in a bit of a bottom here. Just keeping an eye on that one. Same with plug, sort of same comment as FCell for that again. This is the oil. Looks like it's trying to break out here. So we'll see what happens on Monday. X is broken out here. X looks really good. Volume was great on Friday. Lots of strength, and if you look at it on a weekly basis for X, I mean, we're actually more like a monthly basis. You can see there's a whole lot of potential for upside here as well. Get up into this this 200-day moving average 36. So there's still some upside on X that I see here before we get really really overbought. So that's a wrap, everybody, for Sunday evening. It looks like we'll just check out futures here. You can see we're just up in the green on all the indexes, just marginally. So no big move one way or another right now. So we'll see what happens between now and the open. But you can see here the oil's up on that news on the weekend of the hack, ransomware. Gold's up a little bit. Silver's looking really good. I didn't talk much about silver, but silver is looking very, very solid as well. Again, one of those indexes that's or commodities that's doing well. You can see here we're up a little bit on the yields on the treasuries, so they're firming up a little bit here. So we'll see what happens tomorrow and as the week goes on. But look for continued sort of weakness in the Qs. Probably more strength in the SPY and the Dow, although we may be a little bit extended on those. So, and we'll see how things transpire as we go through the week. Have a good one, everyone. If you like the video, please subscribe, and we'll hopefully see you in the room on Monday morning, Bear Bull Traders, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, live on YouTube. Starts out with Jared at the pre-market, the engineering the market show, and then our pre-market show with Norm and Carlos going through the movers and shakers in the morning. Take it easy, everybody. Have a good rest of the evening, rest of your weekend, and hopefully we'll see you in the morning.